What is going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to the next episode of the Three Peaks Fitness Podcast. I'm Coach Mark.
I'm Coach Lynette.
Today we're going to answer the question, how close to bedtime can you eat?
Yeah, I think this is a really great topic because we all love to eat at night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like the best time.
It's very comforting. It's really fun. Mm-hmm. It's part of our ritual.
Yeah. So it's when the snacks come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of people coming to me when they start coaching with me, and they're like, they kind of sheepishly confess, oh, yeah, I eat after 8 p.m., and they feel kind of bad about it. Yeah. So I thought it would be good to do this podcast to address that guilt we feel eating late at night. It's like, I know it's late at night, but I'm going to eat anyway.
Yeah.
So, we're going to address that.
Yeah, it's definitely something that we've all experienced. Yeah. And we'll preface this entire podcast with saying there's no, hard and fast rule, like with most things with health. Everyone's a little different. Uh-huh. So if we say something that doesn't apply to you, it may apply to someone else, or vice versa. So just keep that in mind. But in general, right, a good general rule is you want to avoid eating 3 hours before going to bed. So if you go to bed at 11, you should stop eating at 8.
Yep.
If you go to bed ideally you're going to bed a little bit earlier than that. Hopefully you're going to bed around 9 or 10. Yeah. So just count back 3 hours. And that's a good general rule.
Yeah. And I'll be straightforward. I struggle with this. Mm-hmm. I do struggle with this because with a lot of our listeners probably have this, where you have to work to a point in time. So you get home after the ideal time to eat.
Right.
And so then that kind of dominoes into, we'll have to eat later, stay up later. We all know that. But there's a way to work with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if say you plan to go to bed at 10. And so ideally you would be done eating by 7. But for whatever reason, you get home from soccer or your job or whatever, after that, what can be done? How do we maximize our sleep if we have to eat inside that 3-hour window? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll start with the don'ts, right? Don't do this, don't do that. It's kind of easier to start with that.
Yeah. There's a couple. We have a couple. Yeah, we have a couple of don'ts listed.
Yeah.
Right. So, this one's going to get some backlash.
Yes.
That first one.
Please stay on the air. Please continue to listen. Don't cancel us.
Yes. Avoid alcohol.
Yes.
Too close to bedtime. Right. So this. When we say 3 hours, that includes anything. It's water. You can drink water, although depending on how much you drink, you might wake up in the middle of the night. So also you want to be careful with water.
Yeah.
But alcohol is terrible for your sleep.
Yeah.
And it does count as even though it's not food, it still is. Your body treats it. It still has to digest it. It still has to burn it off, in a sense.
Yeah. And
it will impact your sleep.
Big time.
We probably even worse than
worse than food.
Yeah,
even worse than food. Yes.
So if you're one of those people, you like to you have your nightcap or whatever, try to move that. Ideally you don't, but we don't live in a perfect world, so try to move that a little bit earlier, a few hours before you end up going to bed.
Yeah, and I can hear people right now saying, but that's how I go to sleep. That's how I relax. That's how I wind down.
Sorry.
So this is what's happening. So you drink the alcohol and it kind of relaxes you. And then, you think that it's helping you fall asleep. What it's actually doing is helping you go unconscious, which is not the same thing as sleep.
Yeah.
So when you go unconscious, you're not going through your sleep cycle. It actually interrupts your sleep cycle. So when you wake up the next morning, even if you don't have a hangover, your sleep was crap.
Yeah.
So.
And you probably, most listeners who partake can probably tell, if you've had one or two or, even, however many you've had, and, waking up that next morning, you probably don't feel too well rested. Okay. Compared to when you haven't been.
So if you feel yourself rebelling against what we're saying, try this. Say, okay, I'm probably never going to follow this hard and fast rule of not drinking 3 hours before bedtime. But try an experiment. Say, okay, I'm going to try not drinking. Just try it for one night. See if you can get to 3 nights in a row of not drinking within that 3-hour window and just see how you feel. If you like it enough, then maybe that's something you want to do more often, right? Obviously, nobody's going to do it 100% of the time, but try it.
Yeah.
That's all I ask.
Just give it a shot.
Yeah.
And just want to clarify, we're not like anti-alcohol,
Yeah.
right? Like I know you don't drink. I have drinks. Like we're not anti-alcohol. It's just it really does impact your quality of sleep, especially when it's too close to bedtime. And poor sleep leads to all kinds of other really bad health issues, which is why we're so kind of adamant about this.
Okay.
But anyway, next in line.
This one's a little easier.
Yeah, and also not a food, but important to talk about regardless. Caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah, having you want to make sure, and that's obvious, right? You want to make sure you avoid any kind of stimulant too close to bed. So if you're a soda person, right, if you love your Diet Coke, right, try not to have Diet Coke too close to dinner.
Yeah.
Some people like coffee. With dinner, some crazy people. So avoid coffee, but just
everyone in France.
So just avoid caffeine, avoid stimulants too close to bed for obvious reasons. It's going to keep you awake.
So I like how you say avoid stimulants because we're talking about caffeine, but think about anything that revs you up, even emotionally. Watching the news is just as bad as caffeine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know that most of you are probably listening to this hoping to that we would talk just about weight loss advice, but sleep and weight loss are very interconnected. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not just going to talk about sleep, but watching the news at night, having an argument, having I know this is tough for parents, like having those critical conversations can be a little stimulating, but just keep that in mind, right? See if you can find other times of the day to have those conversations rather than at night when you're tired, no willpower, no filter.
What about scrolling? Does that get me amped
screens
up?
In general, but then closer to bedtime.
Oh, shoot. We're breaking hearts out here today.
I know. Again, I use them sometimes within the 30-minute window that the general wisdom says don't use screens within 30 minutes of bedtime. But I do it sometimes. But it's good to be aware and try to set a routine in your house to not be doing that so that it's the exception, not the routine.
Yeah. So. For sure.
All right.
Finally, we've made it to the food.
Yes. So now to the food. All right. So this is what you and I run into, right? We have to work sometimes late into the day. You get home 8, 9 o'clock at night. You have not had dinner. You're starving. And, to eat and then stay up another 3 hours is not practical because we want to be able to get up earlier in the day. So what do you have to do if you have to eat in that 3-hour window?
If you have to eat, you have a really good strategy. I
do.
Yeah.
So through much trial and error, I finally figured out a way to not eat, not impact my sleep as much with a meal in the 3-hour window. So I have to eat within this 3-hour window before my bedtime. So what I've done is I've kind of turned the typical, that cultural routine that most of America is in, which is you eat a breakfast that has mostly carbs in it, like a bagel or a croissant or pancakes or whatever, and then you eat a big lunch, and then, not a big lunch, sorry. You eat like a light lunch with a salad and a sandwich and maybe a soda or something, and then dinner is like,
crazy.
Yeah, that's like the feature meal of the day. Yeah. That's when you get together and you have your steak and your potatoes and all the fun things. So I have flipped it around a little bit. So now breakfast is like a protein drink and some raw vegetables. I know that sounds terrible, but I've gotten used to it and it's easy for me, so I just do it.
Yeah.
And then maybe some like cottage cheese or Greek yogurt or something. So that gets me through to lunchtime. Lunch is my big meal. That's the meal of the day. That's where I get a lot of my nutrition. And then when I get home at night, it's something on a small plate. And it's sometimes like a little whole grain pancake and a little bit of protein of something and some vegetables. But I've gone to just eating a smaller meal that includes some carbs. So I know eating carbs at night freaks some people out, but carbs as my last meal of the day actually helps me sleep better because it's easier to digest, and then that way when I do sleep, with a little bit of food in my stomach, it's easier to digest and I can get into the deep sleep and I wake up fine. So I'm able to get high quality sleep even though I have to eat within that 3-hour window.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And something like that probably requires planning.
Yes.
Right? And so that's something that, I know you talk a lot about with your clients, and just a good rule in general is to be thinking ahead. Like, a lot of times we, when you're really, really busy, you got kids running around doing this, oftentimes it's even like you don't even have dinner planned, right? So it's just, we'll grab something on the way home from practice, and if that something you grab is, a gut bomb from, I don't know, Chipotle or whatever it is, it's that's going to be sitting heavy in your stomach. You're not going to have as good quality sleep.
That's true. A fast food, something that's like fried, that's going to be hard.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to digest.
Yeah.
Sausage, the meals that sit there for a while.
Yep.
Try to make those the lunch meals.
Yeah.
And then the dinner is a little lighter.
Yeah. And then something too that we didn't list out, but I think is really important is, okay, I hear you guys. What do I do when I get the munchies?
I get those.
The kids are asleep. Yeah. I'm watching my favorite show. Oh man, I just need something. I need something to munch on. What are some good strategies in that case? Similar
to the dinner, try to keep the quantity down. So if you are going to have popcorn or whatever the thing is, try not to have the whole bag in your lap, right? Put it in a bowl and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that way the quantity is less.
Yeah. So just small.
I would make it smaller.
Put it in a smaller package.
Right. And then if you are having something carby and crunchy, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The processed carby crunchy delights.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't name names, but they're all over aisle 5.
Where are those hint of lime chips? Where are those hint of lime chips?
So my trick, everyone's a little different, but if I eat them by themselves, I'll just keep going forever, right? Because your stomach will never fill up.
Yeah.
There's like a special stomach for that stuff, and it has a hole in it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So I like to put something with it, like a little bit of protein, not too much protein, because protein at night is a little hard for the body to digest, and that's going to, again, make the sleep not as high quality. It makes your body work hard while it's trying to sleep. But a little bit of protein does help me eat less of the carby delights. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
And I have a strategy that I use. There's no scientific backing for this whatsoever, so take it with a grain of salt.
My favorite. Okay,
it works for me personally. I brush my teeth. So when I'm done eating, right? But I know I might still be up for another hour or two, whatever. Brushing my teeth signals in my brain, hey, we're done eating today.
I like that,
and it helps.
So you go all the way to your bathroom, brush your teeth, and come back.
Yep.
I would have that would be a barrier for me. I would have to hack that. I'd have to put the toothbrush in the kitchen.
Hey, why not?
I would have to lower the barrier to that. But I do like that idea.
Again, not based in science whatsoever. It just works for me. So
I like that. It's that mental signal. Yeah, and then put in your trays if you've got trays.
There you go. Because you don't want to go through you don't want to take it all out and I just brushed my teeth. I got the minty. I don't want to ruin it with the chips and stuff like that. So.
And what I tried, this is like earth shattering, but I tried going to the movies and not getting any treats.
Oh my goodness.
And the movie was good.
Wait, you did it?
I did it. I enjoyed the movie.
Oh my gosh. You are not like the rest of us, Lynette. You have a different kind of strength.
I don't do that with every movie, but I just tried it.
Yeah.
Again, when there's something that you're kind of scared of or rebelling against, I'm going to try it one time. It's just an experiment. That's all it is.
Now, did you eat before you went? Was that the key? Did you eat something before you went?
I can't remember.
Because when you smell that popcorn when you walk in.
I probably did. I probably had a protein bar or something.
Yeah.
Probably had a protein bar before I left. That's
Okay.
typically what I do when I'm going to go to a situation like that.
That's your go-to.
Yeah, it's like, I'll grab a protein bar, and then I'll just go.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
Okay, so anyway, the big question everyone always has is, does eating close to bedtime make you gain weight? I know that's what everyone's waiting for. So yes and no. Okay, it depends. Like if you have not eaten much all day and then your dinner is bigger but it's still within your day's needs, no, you're not going to gain weight. Again, though, if you're eating it really close to bedtime, there is going to be some problems, not only with sleep but with your insulin. You are more insulin resistant the closer you get to bedtime. And then when you wake up in the morning, you're insulin sensitive. So that is, the morning is a good time to eat. Now, if you like to do the intermittent fasting and not eat till later, that's fine. You might need to play around with it a little bit. But it's just, those are just the tendencies of most people's bodies, is you get a little more insulin resistant. So if you're diabetic, that's something to try to be aware of. So you could gain weight. And here's another thing. Most people are not eating broccoli after 10 o'clock.
Right.
So our choices are different at that time of night. You know, when you get tired and it's getting close to bedtime, it's your brain, you're a different person. You are a different person at 8 o'clock at night than you are at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're making different choices. You have a different attitude. Just accept that. It's okay. You're not, you know, people who are trying to be all the same all day long. It's like, don't fight your biology. Just know at nighttime, you're not going to be making the same decisions, so it might be easier to just brush your teeth and be done eating.
Yeah.
You know,
so if you have that kind of like all or nothing type of personality.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people are usually reaching for the ice cream at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe
because your body is craving quick energy.
It's tired.
Because it's tired. It wants to go to bed, but you're awake and you're you're staring at a screen. It's
Yeah. If you're craving sugar at night, your brain is saying, I really, you know, it's like the man behind the curtain. Yeah, you need sleep, but I'm going to ask for cake.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask for Cheetos, but that's code for go to bed, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Cool. All right. I think that covers everything.
I think that's
Was
good.
there anything else you had to?
I had some more nerd stuff, but I think we've covered the topic.
Okay. Cover the basics.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Cool. Well, yeah, hopefully this was helpful, guys. We will talk to you next time.
All right, bye.